Hello everybody, you join me on what is my final drive of my Aston Martin DB9. I'm on my way to go and drop it off with its new owner, hand over the glass key. Because I have bought my new DadCar, which I will be revealing in this video. And the new owner of this car has kindly agreed to go on camera so we can have a little chat and find out why they chose to buy the DB9. Come on, shall we do it? My name's Ben, and welcome to Dadcars. Okay everybody, so yes, this is it. That was my last drive as the owner of my Aston Martin. And I'm about to introduce you to the new owner who has never owned an Aston Martin before. He's a little bit camera shy. So without any further ado, let me introduce you to the new owner. Ta-da! Oh, James, there we go, look.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Over. So yeah, how do you feel? You are now an Aston Martin owner for the first time.
Yeah. It's quite exciting. Yeah. Most unexpected. But it's not just a first for me, because this is also a first for you.
It is a big first for me with my new car, isn't it?
And what is it you've got?
Wow. Okay, so my next car, I'm not going to draw this out any longer than it needs to be, but it is actually, we've done a Part X deal, haven't we?
We have.
So yeah, my next car is one of your cars, one of the cars that I've already featured of yours on the Dadcars channel. So let's have a quick reminder of which cars it is that I'm talking about.
So the first of James's cars that me and my daughters drove and reviewed on the Dadcars channel was the incredible Celica GT4, and I proved that the rear seats in the Celica are actually better than the Mark IV Supra. Next up was the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and I shamefully have never owned a Porsche before, and with my next Dadcar I really needed the ability to carry 3 children across in the back because I've got 4 daughters. We then got to drive the Ferrari F12. What a dream. First time I've ever driven a Ferrari, but spoiler alert, it's definitely not the F12. Remember, I need to free up some cash selling the Aston. And finally, most recently, was the mighty Maserati Grand Sport. But I said I wasn't going to draw this out. So let me introduce you to my new Dadcar.
Ben, you wouldn't buy an SUV, would you?
No. No, I wouldn't. But it is a first. I've never owned an Italian car before. I've never owned a Maserati. So my next Dadcar, I'm so excited, is the Maserati Grand Sport.
Roll the B-roll.
Right, so we should probably talk about how this actually came about, because it wasn't the original plan, was it?
Not at all.
No. So, because I had quite a few buyers that were really interested in this. I had someone who interested in doing a Part X with another car as well.
Yeah.
And there was the few cosmetic issues, the common corrosion points that I just wasn't happy with. People were coming to see the car and I was just pointing them all out to them because I didn't want them to take it away, clean it, find them, and then sort of be a bit upset. So I tried to get those sorted. And then when I got the car back, eventually, I just wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, I know. I've seen what you're talking about. We thought the issues were going to get solved. I knew what was going on the whole time. The car is still going to need quite a bit of work done. By this point, I'd actually been talking to you for quite a while about maybe you buying the Grand Sport off me. I'd actually thought about maybe trying to do a cheeky double Part X with you and sell you both my Cayenne Turbo and the Grand Sport.
Yeah, because I love the idea of, because we've had the X5 for so many years now, so I would like to swap my wife's car for something a bit more exciting as well. And the Cayenne would have been a good choice. But yeah, what it was looking more like was me getting the cosmetic issues sorted, so I could be proud of it, as I am proud of it with all the money I've spent on the maintenance and operation of the car. But yeah, that didn't happen. And when I picked up the car, I was just so devastated, and I called you up, didn't I, straight away?
Yeah, well, because you're like me, look, we're car guys. It's not a logical thing. So anybody who's seen my last video on this will know that I said that, before it goes, it's got to be checked over and sorted, which actually in real time has still yet to happen, because, even though I know you know the car, you've actually driven the car, without the idea of buying it at the time, it is still important to me that you're not inheriting an issue that's unknown to both of us.
Yes.
And I know you felt exactly the same way about this. And so, Ben called me in a bit of a tiz, I think it's fair to say.
Oh, yeah, I was so upset.
And, because you'd also got it in your mind. And I know what it's like. You know what it's like? It's like the last day of holiday when you're like, look, I know I'm in sunny California or whatever, but it's the end of the holiday. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
I just want to get it done.
Yeah.
And it's like that when you're selling a car. You're like, okay, it's in my head. The car is going. The car is not going to be mine anymore. Like, I just want it. You just want to rip the plaster off and get it done.
Yeah.
But obviously this was in a condition where you couldn't do that. You called me up and were asking advice, and I had this sort of mad idea, and I thought, well, now I'd sold the Cayenne, that had freed up a little bit of capital, and I thought, well, if you were willing to do me a bit of a favour and, kind of be a bit flexible on a few things, that if you took that, which I knew was a car that you genuinely did like and might have bought anyway.
Well, that was my plan. Sell this, get all the cash, and then sort of do a deal on this potentially, or another car. But this was definitely right up there.
So it just seemed to me like, and I've always dabbled with the idea of an Aston, but I've never kind of wanted to do it. And my problem is that, the Astons I want are all a lot of money. The Astons that we all want, like DBS and Vanquish and stuff like that. They're a huge amount of money, and they're kind of hard to justify.
Yeah.
And I know, and that this is kind of like 80% of a DBS.
For half the price.
For half the price. Yeah. And it's also a car that I knew. And so, yes, I knew that it had some issues, but I also knew that it had a lot of other stuff sorted.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what? It'd be a really, really good thing for me to get into this car because I know it, I know the provenance of it. You knew that I was then going to get the thing sorted you wanted to get sorted.
That was a big thing for me, was I just wanted my time with this car to not have a negative effect on this car, because I feel like such a lucky boy getting to drive a V12 Aston around as my daily for 2 years, and the idea of this going off to somebody not in a condition that I was happy with, and me having a negative effect on it, that just, honestly, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But this way it's lovely because I'm still going to be a part of this car's journey. You've got some exciting plans for it, which will all be coming onto your channel, and hopefully I can come along and join in on some of those as well. And I'm really excited, and I still feel like I'm a part of this car kind of going forward.
And it's the same for me with this because, in real time, I've had this for a lot longer than the channel has known about it. This is the way that YouTube works. So I know it feels like in YouTube terms, I've bought it one week and sold it the next. Actually, it's been not that much longer, probably about 3, 4, 5 months or something. But it's a very quick time to move a car on. And there's a lot of stuff I hadn't done with it. There are videos I wanted to make. And of course, because it's going to you, I still get to make those videos. So anybody that is interested in this car is still going to be able to see the content on my channel and yours.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's also handy that I basically live on the doorstep of Sports Italia, where this car was booked in to go anyway. So it all just made a lot of sense, didn't it, really? And something else which I'm a bit of a sucker for a story, really. And I mean, I'm a fan of JM on Cars channel for many years before I even thought about starting a YouTube channel. So even getting the Dad B9 on your channel that time, when you very kindly interviewed me at the end, and that's when I've got my first flurry of new subscribers. But this was my first Aston Martin. And I can remember, I swear, I must have commented years before starting the channel on your video saying, when are you going to get an Aston Martin? I'm sure if I looked through, I could find a couple. So the fact that my first Aston Martin is your first Aston Martin, the actual car, honestly, I kind of geek out a little bit about that, and I'm a sucker for a story. So I love that. And then, so you get to experience owning Aston, which doesn't cost an incredible amount of money. And hopefully by the end of your ownership of this car, I'm hoping that you fall in love with Astons like I did, and I'd love to see a DBS or a Vanquish 2 on part of the JM fleet. I would love to see that.
That would be nice. And, in return, I've got you hooked, hopefully, on the drug that is Italian cars, keeping you forever relatively poor.
Yes, Christ, definitely. And I'm hoping that this takes me on a journey into the Italian cars. Obviously, I've got my dream now for the channel, which is, it feels so far away at the moment, but a Ferrari FF for me. And that was
okay, right. YouTube's going to work. So YouTube viewers, in the future, you're going to use this clip when you pick up your FF, promise me that.
Yeah,
promise me. Deal.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
You're going to use this
And-
clip.
okay.
He's going to get an FF.
And
It's going to happen.
And promise me that when I get my first Ferrari, you will come with me
it's done.
for the video. Yeah?
It's done. You're not keeping me away.
Okay.
Like, I'll be there in the window. Like, you know, just like a camera.
But that is what actually made this a car which was really in my top 2 right at the end. This was something else, but it felt like very diluted version, obviously, but of an FF. You know, proper rear seats, and you know the steering feel in this is just it's exceptional.
That I know was a big part of why you've got this in place of this, and it's probably going to create a problem for me, but I'm stupid. I'm grown up now. I can make my own mistakes. But why don't we show the people at home the best feature really of this car that was of particular concern to you?
Yes, no, absolutely. And the best way just to sort of illustrate this is I'll cut to a very quick clip of when me and you tried to sit in the back of the Dad B9.
Can you take the camera, James? So
I'm fine. Hi, Ben. I don't need your help.
Hey.
Right, have you got the key on you?
Yeah, it's in my pocket.
It's in my pocket.
And now let's have a look at the contrast of just how much space there is in the back of here, which is incredible because externally this is a notably smaller car than this.
Yeah, it's shorter.
Right, so the first nice thing is that the seats actually go forward by themselves. It doesn't do that in the Aston. You've got to press it forward and backwards each time. And then getting in the back. So obviously, like, my head is still touching on the roofline there, but...
And I have a freakishly long body.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should get, like, T-shirts made where it's long of torso, short of leg, because I'm the same. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this seat's going to go all the way back, but we can obviously... I can take that forwards, but even with it all the way back,
Yeah.
this is
Like
a lot
me,
better, isn't it?
as a big adult, like, if I had to be in here for, like, 20, 30 minutes or whatever, I could definitely do it. Whereas in the Aston, 20, 30 seconds was about my limit.
Well, it was ridiculous, wasn't it? Well,
Yeah.
we literally just drove around this car park and you know, cramping up and...
And the other thing I really like, that you don't really notice until you get in the back here, you're like, there's still lots of glass.
Yeah.
Where there's a few cars I've been in, especially modern ones, they've put privacy glass and everything, and the window's tiny. You're like, if you are in the back, you can't see.
Yeah.
And for kids as well, like a bit
Yeah.
of light and a bit of airiness does stop kids being sick.
But that's why kids love being in the front of a van, because they can actually see everything. So, yeah, no, definitely. And even the fact that the head's touched on the roofline, obviously for children, that's not a problem. So, yeah, it's quite exceptional, really. This is the opposite to the Aston in this respect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive on the inside.
And these seats are where we both have our seats in the front. There's loads of legroom for the people in front.
Yeah, this seat here, because where at the front the dash is so pushed back, again opposite to the Aston, you can move this right forward and giving proper legroom back here. That's something I said in my review of this car. Yeah, I'm excited to actually see if I can get one of my fancy pants seats in the back, the free across.
Yeah,
child
actually, because
seats.
it's not as uneven as I thought it was.
No, well, it's not. Yeah, that's just a bit of cushioning, really. So, so I think it should be possible.
So Ben, there's
Yeah.
just one thing left to do. Enjoy your new car.
My first Italian car. Right, let's take it for a drive. Yes, I've got it. I've got my first Italian car. I've got my first Maserati. Oh, this is amazing. How exciting is it when you pick up a new to you car for the first time when you're driving at home? That feeling is always the same, isn't it? It takes me back to when I got my first MR2. I've got so much planned for this car. So many cool videos I'm going to make. I'm going to see if I can get a free across multimac in the back so that I can take all 4 of my children out in this car to make memories. Yeah, so if you're interested in the Grand Sport, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you already subscribe, please consider hitting that bell icon, just because it's really easy to miss videos from your favourite YouTubers if you don't have a little red dot as like a little alert when you open up the app. So please consider doing that. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think I made the wrong decision? Obviously there's lots of other stuff on the list, but I personally just feel like this all came together and it was meant to be. You know, I love the fact that my first Aston Martin is JM on Cars' first Aston Martin, and that we get to follow the Dad B9 as well. James has got some really cool stuff planned, which obviously he'll film all of that and put it all on the channel. So if you're watching this and you don't already subscribe to JM on Cars, unlikely, but go and subscribe to him and make sure you comment on one of his videos saying Dadcars sent you. It'd be nice to get some subscribers back to him for the many that have come over from JM on Cars to me. But look, thank you all so much for watching. The people who watch my videos to the end, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I love you to bits. It's so lovely knowing that I've got this small but growing group of people who really get the Dadcars ethos and get what this channel is all about and really enjoy the content. I love that and appreciate it so much. So look, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.